Hi, I'm Les, and this time I'm going to tell you about the shift button and some of the special functions that it can bring about. We also refer to it as the help button, and I'll show you why. This is the status screen that you're looking at, which is the normal screen. From any other screen, if you press the shift button, you'll see a flashing question mark, and if you press the enter button at that flashing question mark, it gives you a description of what you were looking at, where that question mark was. For example, the status screen displays the instantaneous status of the elevator and controller. And if you use the up and down buttons to scroll to different screens or different menu items, and press the enter button, you see a description of those items as well. If you press shift again, it stops the question mark flashing. And I'd like to show you an example of its use. If we go into the monitor menu, look at the inputs, you see a bunch of acronyms or abbreviations for different inputs. And you might scroll through those and you may not know just what you're looking at. For example, the LCK input. That one's got a Y next to it, so let's just see what that one is. If we press the shift button and scroll over to LCK and hit enter, it says that's the leveling circuit check, which means the door zone leveling and safety circuit status. So now we know what that means. If we scroll down to the setup menu, let's take a look at the parameters. If we scroll through the parameter list, let's say we don't know what that down lantern really is, so let's press the shift button. You can see the question mark flashing. Hit enter. It says this is defined as the controller generates both down gongs or single pulse if fixture controls gongs. So some fixtures generate 2 down gongs, and if that's the case, you would set this value to 1. Otherwise, the controller will generate both down gongs. Just helps you clarify what you're looking at. Another one, let's go to the timer menu and scroll down to open long. Let's see what that definition is. Again, the flashing question mark. The open long means that this is the time the doors remain open at a stop if no car calls exist. Press enter to get out of the definition, and let's see what open short is then. That is the time that the doors remain open at a stop if a car call does exist. Now if we scroll over to features, let's take a look at what the feature menu is. It provides access for viewing and adjusting settings for any optional features. So let's enter the feature menu and take a look at telescopic resync. In the telescopic resync menu, we can see a few different parameters. Let's see what the trip counter really means. It's the number of high-speed trips the car takes between resync operations, and the current count is 2. And we can see that it is set for 500. So after 500, it will resynchronize the jacks. Also, let's take a look at short floors. The first screen you come to is the high-speed up times. That seems a little cryptic, so if we scroll down to this one, number 2 equals 0.3, and see what that means. That's the high-speed seconds leaving this floor for the one above. Now if it's not a short floor, you'll just use a hyphen there. So what we learned from this is that the value of 0.3 means that it will go high speed for 0.3 seconds when you leave floor 2 for floor 3. Or if you leave floor 1 for floor 3, after it passes floor 2, it will only stay high speed for 0.3 seconds. If we keep scrolling down, we now look at the high speed down times. And you'll see that the value for floor 2 is now set to 0. which is only because when you're coming down, you have a little bit more momentum, and it takes a little longer to stop. So what that means is once you hit floor 3, if you're planning to stop at floor 2, it immediately goes into low speed and coasts into floor 2.